All right. Hey, shalom, shalom. Oh, there's so much to cover. So many things, news and prophecy. You know, it's all about prophecy. It's all about the elect anyway. So let's go ahead and get this. Well, severe weather, disaster, death toll rises to 28. Yeah, there's 600,000 people without electricity. It's all kinds of shit going on. You know, like I was just saying. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakaha, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone, of whom I learn from daily. Okay? Healthy shalom to the brothers that are out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Now, again, there's so much. There's so many things, to do lessons about and, teach about and edify about. So I'm going to start right here. What do you have here? A 12-foot bronze statue of a black woman in Times Square sparks mega fury, okay? All right. So that's one thing there, right? And that's really, look at this statue. It's really a damn mockery. Yeah, look at what you have here. You got an overweight, you know what I'm saying? Overweight Eve, that's basically you can almost see if it was a damn bobblehead, it'd be wagging its finger in the air, and you already know. Because this is a freaking mockery, right? And then you have what? The Afrikaners coming over here and all that, that's going on. But I think I figured out really what the reason is. Ultimately, it's just white supremacy. It's Yahweh Shem Yahushua is put the spirit back on these damn Edomites, all right? But I believe truly it's about their declining birth rate and the fact that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is sending, more and more Edomites over here. Is, especially the ones that committed, that apartheid that just ended in 1994. These people act like this shit under the ban of genocide. Nah. Anyway, he's sending these people over here to get judged, man, with these ICBMs. Okay, and the fact that their birthright is declining. Why do you think? Nero, he's Nero. You can clearly see he's burning this place. Why do you think he wanted to get rid of that DEI hiring? Okay, because what did it do? Ultimately, 70% of the DEI hiring benefited who? So-called white women, Edomite women. So he wanted their ass back in the house to have babies, man. Because soon come, they're going to be the minority. Matter of fact, they already are. They already have been. They just lied to you. You remember the scripture said the children of Israel shall be the sand of the sea. All right. And the scripture also said that your enemy shall be found a liar. So they're trying to wiggle around a lot of different things. And there's a lot of different things happening. Okay. Let's go here. Psalm 64, verse 4. All right. Verse 3. Salakia. Yeah, verse 3. Who wet their tongue and like a sword, hide me from the, verse 2, Salakia, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, that's Esau Edom, all right, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And again, that's exactly what they're doing. And it goes along with that abortion thing too, Roe v. Wade, right? Okay. Why do you think they wanted to get rid of that? It didn't matter about, the northern or southern kingdom women. They didn't give a shit about that. Why you think the PP parenthood, right? Salakia. Why do you think that's always on, near the so-called ghettos or projects? Because this is an insurrection of the wicked, the workers of iniquity. But 33%, mark my words, look it up for yourself. 33% of Edomite women were also getting abortions, just right behind. Well, a distance, if you will, behind Eve, man. Okay? That's another way for them to try to get their birthrights back up. $5,000 for each newborn child. All this is starting. These are the workers of iniquity. It's the devil. Okay? Let's continue on. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bow and shoot their arrows, even bitter words, right? Salakia, make sure. Yeah, I'm good. Okay? Even bitter words. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of lying snares privily. They say, who shall see us? And guess what? We see it. We seeing exactly what they're doing. And I ain't gonna say on my own. How about Shimmy Awashai? He put it on me to go and do some research and really look up what's happening. Really, this is all prophecy. That's what it's all about. It's all about the elect and these enemies, living to see the downfall of your enemy, as the scripture said. We'll read it. See, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both inward thought of every one of them. You hear that? And their heart is deep, right? Go here. What's it say right here? Abortion surveillance, United States 2019. Let's read just a little bit of this article, because again, the reason why they wanted to get rid of it is just simply because so their numbers could come up. So that's why do you think? What's the first thing they did? They brought in millions and upon millions of who? Ukraine. All right, women from Ukraine. And it was mostly women, because you remember the men over there were basically were sanctioned to fight that war. So it was a bunch of damn women they brought over here. You understand? CDC, the Center of the Creation, all right, contacts abortion surveillance to document the number of characteristics. You hear that? Of women obtaining legal induced abortions, which is murder. That's exactly what it is. A number of abortion-related deaths in the United States. See, they even know that it's a death. Hey, why would it be a death if there's no life there? You see how they lie, and they keep trying to say, well, it's only a life during the fetus or nah. It's a life when how about Shimmy Awashai push that spark when he has a man go up in a woman. I'm not trying to be derogatory, but hey, this the life cycle is the way it works. When a man puts a seed in a woman, that's put it that way, okay? In his wife, and that's all off too. No such thing as that's a whole nother lesson. So much to go into. Anyway, description of system. Each year's Center of Creation, you already know, requests abortion data from the Central Health agencies for 50 states, the District of Columbia. Remember, it's a district, right? And New York City, right? Salakia. 2019, 49 reported areas voluntarily provided aggregate abortion data to the CDC. Okay, so I don't really need to go into this, because they do the census. Anyway, I was trying to find that percentage, and it was something like 33%, just behind the black woman. All right, now you got to pay attention to this right here. All right, in 1913, you had these devils down there in South Africa sign this bill, and it's the same kind of thing that they were doing to the Jakes here in Babylon, except for here they destroyed our complete identity, and there's a reason for that. All right, all that's in the prophecy too. Remember, they covet fields and take them by violence. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, we'll read it. The Natives Land Act is sort of like the Homestead Act and many different acts and things that they did. All right, you got to pay attention to what's going on here. All right, so let's go into this. This is Wikipedia right here. Native Land Act 1913, and remember they started at apartheid. I believe it was really before that. They really started with this Native Land Act. Anyway, let's read it. Subsequently renamed Bantu. See, you hear that? Bantu Land Act, and we all should know by now that the Bantus mainly were a bunch of Israelites, man, a bunch of Jakes. You understand that? All right. 1913, and I'm just going to read it verbatim. It says black. Black Land Act. Okay, well, they call us black, but they call them Africans. We two different people anyway, and the scriptures prove it. Anyhow, 1913 was an act of Parliament of South Africa that was aimed at regulating the acquisition, which means stolen, the acquired, like just like they acquired. They look at what Columbus discovered. Cristobal Colon, right? Bullshit. Anyway, the acquisition of land is largely prohibited. The sale of land prohibited the sale of land from whites to blacks and vice versa. So in other words, this is exactly what they did, is they took that land. Let's read it. Micah 2 and verse 1. They just took it. Just like they do all across the earth. Let's read it. Woe means destruction to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Remember, Job 9, look, it's 144. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh. Let's go. Let's go. Okay? Salakia. There we go. What in the hell? Anyway, excuse me. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And look, and don't get me wrong, you have people, it happened to everybody, but it never happened the Israelites have went through all kinds of hell, man. All right. Yet this day we still yet in our captivity. All right, I'll say that, but you got people that say this blah blah the Palestinians, and we don't give a damn about them Ishmaelites over there. They had a job, and Psalm 83. They had their hands all in this shit too. Okay, so screw all them. I ain't even gonna mention them no more. Verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against this family. Against this family I do devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go hauntily, for this time is evil. Why you think he told us to walk circumspectly? You see, because the days are evil. This is the end. See, but again, you got all these distractions. That's all this is right here. Distractions. P. Diddy, Shannon Sharp. It's all kinds of bullshit they throw up in your face. That Edomite lady that called a little 5-year-old a ninja. Right? You see what I'm saying? If you really understood it, all that word means is dark, like the tinsel kadar, right? That's all it means, man. This is crazy. All right, let's continue on. Let's read Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keeper at home, who enlarged his desire as hell, and is as death, and could not be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto himself all people. See? Simple and plain, man. Simple and plain. There's all kinds of different things. Now, let's go here. What's the real reason? Why the Afrikaners are coming over here? And not to mention the four coast farmland is being auctioned off to foreign bidders. And why you think the Afrikaners, them dudes, some of them dudes weigh 275 pounds, man. Hey, I didn't want no damn refugee. Come on, man. All right. So look, check this out right here. There's this company called Acre Traders, right? Acre Traders, which in I believe it's 2022. See these devils, man. This has been a snare from the beginning. These presidents don't get voted in. They get picked. He's just a low-hanging fruit, man. Okay. Anyway, there's it's company called Acre Trader, which was started by who? The Vice President of the United States, really the third in charge, if you will. J.D. Vance owns company that sells American real estate to foreign investors, and it's called Acre Trader. And where did he acquire? There's that word again. Where did he acquire these lands from? From foreclosures. All right. When Trump promised these farmers, which is a form of what? Let's just go ahead and say it. Welfare. Okay. Edomites get the most welfare on the planet. Anyhow, my goodness, it's crazy. And the welfare babies, man. They're culture vultures. They heap unto themselves all people. They oppress a man in his heritage. It's all there. Anyhow, J.D. Vance owns company that sells American real estate to foreign investors. What is this? Uh-huh. Oh, we'll go into that too. Anyway, it was called Acre Traders. Let's see. Do I have that pulled up somewhere? No, I do not. Give me one moment. Let's pull this up. Could have swore I had that pulled up somewhere. Acre Traders. Farmland investing simplified. Acre Trader. See this right here? You can't make this shit up. Oh, okay. What is this? Let's see. Minimum investment, $15,000. Columbia Basin Vegetable Farm. It's all there. You know, and he invested in this shit in 2022. So he knew this was coming. He knew exactly what's going on. See if there's any more in this article right here. In early October, Salakia, damn, 2024, several social media accounts supporting U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris shared a copy pasta meme alleged that the Republican vice president candidate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, that devil, has a financial investment in the app Acre Trader. He owns it. You see? That allows foreigners to snap up real estate deals. Ooh, you see that? Let's get into the demographics and why the DEI hires and all that. See, it's all a big plot. It's all a big plot for Esau Edom to try to get his birthright back, and it's not going to happen. What's it say? It says why Edomite women, all right, benefited from most DEI programs. Do you hear this right here? They benefited from it. And see what they want. What did Aaron Russo tell you? To get the women out of the house so we could tax them too. Ultimately, it's all headed towards the MOTB. But now they want the women back in the house. Matter of fact, I'll see if I find that video the brother Arrows of Indignation that put up just the other day.
Well, these Republicans are cutting SNAP benefits, but they're giving two exclusions, okay? The first exclusion, if you're married and your child turns 7, you can continue to get SNAP benefits. And then they're upping the work requirements, except with the exception, if you're married, the new work requirements do not apply. Why is this important? When you read Project 2025, their goal is to turn this into a Christian nation under a patriarchy. It's their goal. There's over 35 people at high-level administration with Donald Trump that were architects that are part of Project 2025 and making it happen. And in Project 2025, it forces women to get married at a very young age and start bearing children. So this is integrated into this new bill. It makes it very hard to be a single mother and to remain single. It forces you into a marriage you probably don't want. And Trump supporters, you've got single mothers in your households. I know that you do. This is why Charlie Kirk is so dangerous. College campuses everywhere. He integrates into every single debate how women should just graduate from high school and get married right away and start having babies. There's footage everywhere. He discourages women from getting higher education and going into fields like being a scientist, and he does that at every single college campus, and the boys are hearing this message too. So that's the number one bill that was slipped into this budget bill by the House. The second one is what we've already heard of, the selling of 200 million acres of our federal land. Now, when I say our, that means you as a Trump supporter and me. We own 200 acres of this beautiful country. It's protected as federal lands. They want to sell 1/3 of it 200 million acres. Let me give you a better perspective. That's 10% of all the acres in this entire country, 10% of our land, okay? Let me give you a different perspective. It's the equivalent of selling off 4 states the size of Arizona. This is the biggest money transfer of wealth we've ever seen under this administration, whether it's with the tax cuts, whether it's with destroying the stock market so they can hurry up and buy and sell and make a quick profit. I mean, this is the biggest transfer of wealth we are seeing right now. And selling off the federal lands is specifically to sell to their rich developers.
Okay. Hey, so you heard what she had to say, right? Now, if you pay attention to this, what do they say? Oh, they need to graduate high school and go straight into having babies, right? Which there's really nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, it's scriptural. You see? You know, when she reached the flower of her age and all that, but that's a whole nother lesson. But here's the point. Let's see if we can find this right here. You got the DEI hires, white demographic decline. That's the whole point. Here's the point. Now, you have, this thing on TikTok or whatever, whoever, wherever, talking about the so-called black woman is the most educated woman on the planet. Well, I would say, even if that's true, okay, they're actually graduating in going into fields that do not really offer any help to anybody. Okay? And they want them. See, that's the thing. Esau Edom wants them to have their degrees, and they want them to have their careers and be that boss bitch. You know why? So their women can go ahead and and have the babies because the white demographic is declining. Let's read it. You see, this all makes sense. If you can hear it, if you can receive it, this all makes sense. White demographic is a decrease in the white populace, all right, numerically, and or as a percentage of total population in the city of sub-reign or nation. Okay, so the point is, that's what's going on, and they changing all these policies, and they're doing all these things to try to get their numbers back up. Hey, but look, understand this, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua already knew, and this is foretold. All right, the greatest wealth transfer program in the U.S. for who? So-called whites. What was that? That was the Homestead Act. From 1862 to 1986. My goodness. The United States government ran a homestead program that gave 2,992,058 Edomite settlers. All right. And then they say European, and that's all wrong too. Anyhow, immigrants, what? Immigrants, both documented and undocumented, a minimum of 160 acres of land from Mississippi River to the west coast of America. You see that? And wasn't that one of the treaties that the Edomites signed and said, no, we're not going to go any further west than that? Oh, man, the book of Ecclesiastes 5, verse 9. Let's read it in the NIV. What does it say? The increase from the land is taken by all. The king himself profits from the fields. What did that say? The king himself profits from the fields. But what do you have here? What do you have here? Where's it at? Oh, it's down here, I believe. J.D. Vance, acre trader. You can't make this up. It's all there. You got to read the scriptures. Trump administration looking at $5,000 baby bonus to incentivize public to have more children. You cannot make this shit up. You can't make it up. The White House has been fielding proposals aimed at persuading people to marry and have children. You hear this? An effort being pushed by outside groups focused on increasing the nation's birth rate after years of decline. And remember what I was going into. See, these devils are not fooling any damn body. See, the Expropriation Act of 2024. My goodness. Let's read this. Ooh-wee. Yeah, this place is through. This place is finished, man. All right, what does it say? Expropriation Act. I probably said it wrong, Salakia. All right, 2024, the Expropriation Act 2024, number 13 of 2024, anyway, is an act of Parliament of South Africa to establish a framework for compulsory property acquisition by South African government entities. Do you hear that? So, in other words, what they're doing is, under the banner of genocide, is they said, what these South African, the Hamites, because they're really the ones that are in charge. There's a lot of Jakes all throughout the world, really. But what they're doing is taking the damn land back and giving it to the rightful owners. That's what this means. And then they call it what? Genocide? Nah. But in the same breath, Edom talks out of both sides of his mouth. In the same breath, what are they doing? What are the Ecclesiastes 5 verse 9 just said that the king benefits himself from the taking of the land. You see, they're doing it right here. I proved it. The act, damn, I can't say that word, Salakia. The repeal of apartheid era Expropriation Act 1975 and will come into operation on a date determined by the president by proclamation of the government Gazette. All right. So yeah, again, in other words, man, they taking it back. They're taking it back. Here's another one, right? They're gonna start selling your children. They're gonna yay. Woo. Joel 3 verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried it into your temples, my goodly and pleasant things. Talking about the Hamites right here. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your children and your daughters to the hand of the children of Judah. And Judah is getting roused up. And they shall sell them to the Sabians, to the people afar off, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. You see? Close out on this one. Book of Sirach 25 verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th will I utter with my tongue. And man that have joy of his children, the same ones Eve is unalive in these PP parenthoods, right? And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. I love that scripture. That's beautiful. I should have read Jeremiah the 30th chapter. But anyhow, there you have it, man. So that's the real reason. Ultimately, it's prophecy any damn way. Hopefully this lesson was edifying, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And every chance you get, chant this place down. Kwam Yasharallah and Wa Abai Babal. Boom. Shalom.